This is not a drill. This is not a drill.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
It seems like Infinity Ward has heard our cry, and in this last update, Slugs in Warzone were finally buffed, and now they're kind of viable. Let's take a moment of silence to really soak this in. Okay, so with this video, I won't be going into all of the shotguns and covering Slugs as a whole yet. I want to focus on some more testing, but in the meantime, I wanted to share one gun in particular so far with Slugs that is pretty surprising and actually kind of viable now. The Origin 12 with Slugs is now what I would consider a mini marksman rifle in Warzone, and when I say mini, I mean don't go around using this as a full-blown marksman rifle with range and all that, but rather cut that range where you should be using it down and aim high, because Slugs on the Origin 12 hurt, and they hurt a lot now. So let's check out the damage and ranges and see how well they fare. As I said, this video is just going to be checking out the Origin 12 with Slugs, and I'll be doing a more in-depth, full-blown look at the new buff for Slugs in a separate video, but I wanted to get something out as soon as possible for you guys and let you know my initial thoughts and share how it's been with the Origin 12 specifically. If you remember, the Slugs in Warzone were awful. They were just so bad. They would take 4 headshots up close, 5 body shots, 8 limb shots to kill someone with full armor. They were pretty much useless in every single way, and I hated them. But now we have Slugs that deal a lot more damage. So let's start with the Origin 12's max damage range and values. Of course, this will be dependent on where you're hitting your targets. For Slugs, they have head, chest, stomach, legs, and arm multipliers. Here are the overall ranges you'll see for each area. For the head, you're going to be dealing more than 250 health in this max damage range. That's right, you can now one-shot headshots with the shotgun Slugs. I know, let's take it in for a second. And even with the Origin, which is pretty awesome. Up to about 25 meters, you'll be able to get 2 tap chest shots, but seeing as how stomach is most likely what you'll be hitting, you'll be dealing less damage, and it'll take about 1 to 3 shots in that 25 meters range, as long as you're not hitting limbs or anything like that. I don't really recommend going out further than that, because this gun has some kick, and because of a few other reasons I'll get into soon. But in terms of damage, if you're playing it smart and you have precision aiming, you can 1 and 2 tap players at decent ranges for a gun like this, and with the Origin's fire rate, it's going to be much more forgiving than other shotguns with Slugs. With Slugs, your time to kill is going to be around 240 milliseconds for 2 shots with the Origin 12. As far as headshots go, they will always be a 2-shot kill past that initial max damage range. So from these values, you can tell that Slugs got a serious buff, at least on the Origin 12. If they have any armor chipped off, it's really easy to down players with this thing up close. Now, while the damage is looking pretty good, I still don't really recommend sniping with this one in particular. The damage is okay, but Slugs have a slow travel time compared to other guns, and past 50 meters or so, that bullet drop gets really bad, so you have to aim above your targets most of the time. If you want to play to the strengths of this gun with Slugs, you're going to have to stick to around 25 meters at the most and aim high. That 2-shot headshot is nasty. Just make sure to avoid hitting the legs at all costs, because that will really hurt your time to kill overall, since they really don't do a lot of damage. Now, in terms of attachments that help with the damage ranges, the Origin doesn't get any significant boost from any one particular attachment. As you can see, as expected, the Impaler barrel is the best, but really, I opt to generally avoid running barrels with Slugs now, because I prefer to keep my aim down sights time as fast as possible, and with Slugs, this is a must. If you want to use a barrel, go for the precision barrel, because it doesn't affect your aim down sights time or movement speed as much as the Impaler does. One thing to note with Slugs is that the Slugs don't always travel where you want them to, like a normal sniper or marksman rifle generally does. I mean, it's slightly off for those guns, but for Slugs, it's really noticeable. The larger barrels and the choke do help with this, but the spread is decent enough on its own, so you really don't have to worry about that too much if you're in that right range when you use it. If you're trying to really snipe people from super far away, again, which I don't recommend, then it's definitely nice to use, but for how I recommend playing, I don't see why you would need a super tight spread, since it's kind of decent on its own. In terms of my class setup, I used no barrel, and instead I used the 5mm laser, the stippled grip, the no stock attachment, the Merc foregrip, and the slug rounds. These attachments will really get you on target as fast as possible, both with sprint out time and ADS time, but with the no stock attachment, your recoil is going to be a little bit difficult at longer ranges, so you need to be playing smart with this gun. Overall, the Slugs on the Origin are a blast, and they're super satisfying to get those 1 and 2 tap headshots on unsuspecting players. But is it too strong or anything like that? Not at all. I mean, not at all. You really have to try it to see, but slugs are still considered a high skill attachment in my opinion, and up close they are strong, yes, but you have to aim down sights. Hip firing this will get you killed and it will just frustrate you. You can hip fire if they are super close, but aiming down sights is basically 100% necessary almost all of the time. That being said, this is definitely a much needed change, and in the right hands, this thing is just straight dirty. Also, one of the really big downsides is that you only have 8 shots, which is pretty bad. So in a lot of ways, you are probably better off with a standard Origin with the 12 round mag or the 25 round mag. But if you want the extra bit of range and a little bit more of a challenge and those satisfying headshots, you really need to try this setup, and it's a lot of fun. Now obviously this video is catered towards the Origin 12 Slug specifically, but if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe because I will be going over the other shotguns with slugs in particularly, and depending on how my testing goes, I may split that video up into separate parts for each shotgun, or just have one overview for all the shotguns as a whole with slugs, because they all got a nice buff, and I really want to show you guys what they're capable of if you can handle the aiming and the mechanics of them. So if you like Call of Duty content, weapon guides, not just for shotguns, or if you just like shotguns, then this is the place for you and you need to subscribe. Be sure to leave a like on this video. I would really appreciate that. And with all that being said and out of the way, guys, I want to wish you all a happy day/night, and I will see you in the next video.